You are now listening to Wolf Sports Network live from the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, now an Odyssey station.
Live from Carrollton, Georgia, this is Sports Pack.
West Georgia's go-to show for all things sports.
From the best interviews in college radio.
Hey, this is Coach Joel Taylor, head football coach here at the University of West Georgia.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff Bacon, Atlantic Sun Conference Commissioner.
To the hottest takes around.
I wholeheartedly believe that behind Sean Payton and a second-year Bo Nix, the Denver Broncos can dethrone the Kansas City Chiefs and be the AFC West champions.
I mean, plain and simple, the worst decision Kalen DeBoer has ever made is taking the head coaching position at Alabama.
We've got all you need and more right here on Sports Pack.
The Wolves play here.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic Monday edition of Sports Pack. I'm your host, Richard Reed, joined today by Cadence Grieven,
Hello.
Jackson Schrader,
What's up?
and my dog, John Howley.
Birthday bash!
On the
Birthday
board.
bash!
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
It is my birthday today. It's my 21st birthday. It's been a very exciting weekend.
You hit the
very
double
good day.
digits, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Officially an adult now. I woke up, my knee was hurt, and it was kind of,
Oof.
it was a little rough.
It's only downhill from here.
I see why people get angry when they get older. I somewhat understand.
Hey, man,
now.
you might randomly cramp while you're live, just saying.
I wouldn't be surprised. Remember what happened to you last semester?
Yep.
Right after you turned, what, 26?
Oh, come on now. 1 year
Pushing
younger.
30 now.
But the birthday stuff doesn't matter right now. What matters is all the sports that we have to get into that went down this weekend. Got a few West Georgia updates. None of them are really that good, but we'll get to them shortly. We got a whole lot of college football to jump into, as it was another fantastic weekend in the world of college football, the greatest sport in the world. Very exciting NFL weekend. Got to talk about the NBA and the MLB as well, as the MLB season is starting to wrap up, and the NBA season is just getting ready to tip off. But before we get started, I must remind you, every Wednesday is Fried Chicken Wednesday at West Commons. Faculty and staff can now get their own meal plans by visiting westga.edu/dinewest. That is westga.edu/dinewest. You can also follow Dine West on Instagram at UWGDine_West for other special events and updates. Now, like I said, we got a whole lot to get into and nowhere near enough time to do it all. So let's go ahead and jump right into UWG, John. How about them Wolves?
Is Widener rolls to the right. He's got some time. Everybody's down at the end zone. He heaves it. And it is caught for a touchdown.
We are one. Go Wolves.
This West Georgia football season started off better than any of us could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
Winning 5 extremely exciting games in a row. Being ranked in the top 25 in the FCS for the first time in school history. Then we went on the road to take on the then 21st ranked team in the nation, the Austin P Governors, losing 44-30. Lost our starting quarterback in that game, but we were confident. We realized that game was close all the way through. We can persevere, push forward the very next week. That next week game, first ever top 25 matchup in University Stadium right here in the City of Dreams, Carrollton, Georgia. The number 19 team in the nation, Abilene Christian, came into town. It was our Hall of Fame game. The energy was palpable, had a pink out. It was a great atmosphere. But the game, on the other hand, wasn't the greatest. Losing 30-13. But our starting quarterback will be back next week, the next week, when we will take on the number 3 team in the nation, the Tarleton State Texans, all the way out in Stevensville, Texas. And what happened? Our West Georgia Wolves fell 45-10, and what was honestly a complete meltdown. There were not many positive takeaways from that game. Coach Joel Taylor in his press conference today didn't really have much positive to say about it. He was like, it was one of those games where he felt he didn't coach well enough, and nothing else seemed to go right in that game as a result of it. So before we move on to this upcoming weekend, John, I want to start with you.
Yeah, man.
What has happened these past 3 weeks?
A crap show is what's happened these past 3 weeks. I don't know why. I mean, as much as I love Davin starting, I don't know why we started him. I think you should have given him an extra week of rest. Literally, the first play that we had on offense when we got the ball, we threw an interception right away. He had his man beat, but Davin cannot air that ball out. Our offensive line can't hold up. Davin got sacked 6 times, but we sacked Victor Gablis 5 times. Vabalis, yes. But there was a lot wrong. I had a a source of mine told me that the team was just muggy. They were moping on the sidelines at some points where the offensive coordinator was threatening to pull plays and say, since you guys are playing like this, we're not going to throw the ball. We're not going to run the ball. When you have something like that happen, that really does not help you in a game.
Well, shoot. I mean, I'm going to start by saying I don't like this game anymore. This isn't fun. It was great when we were 5-0. This kind of sucks. But I wish they would say, you know what, we're just going to run the ball, because that's been the problem. We're not running the football anymore.
No.
That was our bread and butter through those first 5 games where we were winning. We were establishing the run game, and Davin did not have to do that much. And then you walk into these 3 straight games against 3 ranked opponents, and you just crap the bed because you're not running the football. We're running the football. We're giving the ball to the running backs, 20 times a game total, and then Davin's running for 14 when he's banged up, and we know it. We're not playing smart football. Play calling's been abysmal, and it's just been frustrating the whole way through.
Cadence.
I agree. It's just like, if we know it works and it's been successful these first 5 games, why change it up against these teams that are actually going to give us a run for our money? And you can see that based on us trying to throw it instead of run through, and it just shows off in just our success as a whole, considering these past 3 losses have been just
Awful.
not good football.
Awful is what it's been.
Yeah.
Right. It hasn't been pretty by any stretch of the imagination. And as much of an optimist as I try to be, I can't really turn it in any way. Like you said, we've been a shell of ourselves over these past 3 weeks against our best 3 opponents. It's been very hard to watch. The first game against Austin Peay was close in the first half, well, through 3/4 of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Then the fourth, we kind of lost control of it. The game was against next week against Abilene Christian was rough as well. But this past weekend's game against Tarleton, I don't see how it could get much worse than that. But I do want to say one thing. There is one positive takeaway here.
And that is?
At the beginning of the season, Coach Joel Taylor said their goal as a team was to win 8 games. We're currently sitting at 5-3 with 3 games remaining. So despite this 3-game losing skid, this West Georgia team, while they're out of UAC championship game contention, can still achieve their goal from this preseason, which is going 8-3, which will be a very successful season, as seeing that last year we went 4-7. So even though things have been bad, we've lost to the teams that were favored against us. So in a way, you can say the teams that were supposed to beat us, but it's still disappointing nonetheless. But this weekend, we have, a 1-5 Central Arkansas team coming into town.
Gutted team. Absolutely
Homecoming game should be our biggest turnout yet.
Oh, it's going to be rocking.
I'm so excited.
Homecoming out here is always an amazing atmosphere. We got to find a way to get some of those fans. Just leave the tailgate lot for just a little while. Come into the game and support our Wolves as we try to get our 6th win of the season at home against Central Arkansas. Then we'll have our first bye week after playing 9 games in a row.
Yeah, who set that up?
Yeah.
No other team in the
head.
nation has had to play 9 straight games. So if we can win this game against Central Arkansas, build some confidence going into the bye week, and then go on the road and beat North Alabama, then at home for our last game of the season, Senior Day on November 15th, and beat the Utah Tech Buffaloes, this season could still end up being a win, starting with a 5-game win streak, losing 3, and then ending it off winning 3 games in a row, 8-3 season. In my book, that's an absolute win, because my expectation was 6 or 7 wins anyway. No pun intended. So we'll see how things go. Now, pivot to the soccer end of the spectrum. Our women's soccer team got a win yesterday,
They did.
beating Stetson 2-1. Cadence, I want to start with you. It's been a very rough season. We're currently sitting at 4-12-1. Yesterday became our 4th win of the season. I want to see our 2nd against the Stetson Hatters. What went into this team win for our soccer team yesterday?
So I really think that, once again, it's our freshman goalkeeper. She has just been pulling up and just showing out, especially because at the beginning of the game, Stetson was winning because they were playing high press. It was a 1-0 lead, and then they had a penalty. They had a PK, and our freshman goalkeeper, once again, 2nd in the nation for saves, saved a PK, denying the attempt, and helped to bring momentum back to the Wolves. And we were down 1-0 at halftime, and then 3 minutes into the second half, sophomore Campbell Taylor tied 1-1, and then I think we just pulled through with that momentum and just were able to just get that last goal in and just give us that extra just push that we needed offensively.
And honestly, this is a great win, and it's really perfect timing for it because there are only 2 games remaining.
Yeah.
A game this Wednesday, October 22nd versus Jacksonville, and this Saturday, October 25th at 12 p.m. versus UNF, the University of North Florida. Our last 2 games of the season, like I said, with the football team. There's no matter how the season went, you can build a lot of confidence by ending off the last 3 games with 3 wins. This could be big time for our soccer team as they wrap up this year's 2025 season. Now to go to the other end, our volleyball team is currently sitting at 2-19 after another very disappointing weekend with two home matches, this past weekend. One versus the University of North Alabama, losing 3-0. But then in yesterday's game versus Central Arkansas,
They did it, guys.
they lost, but they lost 3-1 and straighter. That breaks some kind of streak, right?
Yeah, that was the first time we had won a set since September.
Oh, wow.
We went about 6 games without winning a set. Finally won a set, so that's a big deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Take the little thing.
Brutal,
right?
but hey.
Our volleyball
We're back.
team is currently on a 9-game losing streak, and we're going to look to shake back this Wednesday, October 22nd, on the road in Charlotte, North Carolina, versus Queen's University of Charlotte. If you're in the Charlotte area, tune in, check out our girls, give them some love, give them some support. If you have ESPN Plus, be sure to tune into that game to cheer them on as we try to snap this way too long of a losing streak. But we're going to take a quick ad break, but don't go anywhere because when we return, we're diving into this ridiculous college football weekend and going to talk some NFL. Before we go, I must remind you that Westwoods has a residence pool and is now accepting all applicants. More information is located at livewestwoods.com. That is livewestwoods.com.
In 2023, the Georgia Governor's Office stated 21% of adults have low literacy skills. The U.S. Department of Education reports that children with access to print reading materials have better literacy rates. Wolf Radio and Wolf Sports Network's ongoing book drive will provide a new or gently used book to every child at UWG's Pre-K Monthly. Give today by visiting the wolfuwgradio.com/book drive. That's the wolfuwgradio.com/book drive.
Now, like I said, do not hit that dial. Don't cut off the YouTube stream. Do not go anywhere. We got a whole lot more to get into right on the other side of the break. Stay tuned. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network.
Hey y'all, it's Schrader. Now don't go anywhere because you're listening to Sports Pack here on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
Sports Out of Pocket has a brand new showtime.
Yeah.
But what time is it at?
I don't know.
It's not 5 to 6.
Nuh-uh.
It's not 7 to 8.
Nuh-uh.
It's 6-7. Wolf Sports Network. Hello? Can anybody hear me? I can't see anything. It's like a snowstorm out here.
JT, I need your help.
What? Who goes there?
I'm the ghost of Out of Pocket Past.
Nah, bro. I don't mess with ghosts.
But I need a sports fan that has zero chill.
Well, now that you mention that, this is going to be Out of Pocket. Tune in to Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket, Zero Chill. Wednesdays at 6 on Wolf Sports Network. Man, this beat brings back memories. Anyways, let me tell you all about this show on Wolf Sports Network. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. Get with the playbook. It's the playbook. Hear us talk about all college basketball, football, and baseball. Fridays at noon. The Playbook, only on Wolf Sports Network. It ain't just a game. It's everything. This is where the best separate themselves from the rest. But to be the best, you gotta read the best. And the best is the Playbook.
Let's go. Yeah, go.
Tune in to the Playbook, Fridays at noon on Wolf Sports Network.
Baby, it's college football time. Give me my theme music.
Man. In the preseason, there was a lot of talk about how nobody really knew what to expect from a lot of these teams this season. How it's kind of be like it's really just place your bet on who's going to really be involved at the end of the year of this college football season, and it's really lived up to the hype. Week in and week out, there have been massive upsets and great games all across the board. I want to start with one team in particular here. a team that a lot of people were really high on coming into the season, and they've really lived up to the hype over the first few weeks. But this past weekend, the Arizona State Sun Devils went in and took down the number 7 team in the nation, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, right when everybody was starting to say, yeah, the Big 12 ain't what it used to be. It's really Texas Tech's title to lose.
Oh, crap.
But the Arizona State Sun Devils came in and reminded everyone exactly why they won the conference last year. Keyshawn, welcome into the show. Schrader, I'm going to start off with you here.
Yep.
What was the biggest factor in this game that led to an Arizona State win?
I mean, I think there's many things you can look at as why. Why would Arizona State just absolutely remind everybody why they're here? And I think it's that chip on their shoulder. I think they were the top dog in the conference before the game, or before the season, and Texas Tech kind of came out of nowhere. And everybody's like, all right, it's Texas Tech. But what have we said about the Big 12 all season? The Big 12 eats itself alive, unlike any other conference does. And Arizona State has been they've stumbled a couple times, but they have played like a good football team. And, I mean, when Sam Leavitt goes out there and throws for 319 yards, he's leading that team like a quarterback hasn't led that team since anybody. I mean, Jaden Daniels didn't even lead that team well when he was there. They wanted him gone. They got Kenny Dillingham behind them on the sideline. I mean, this team is playing with just a fire, and it's been great to see. And, yeah, I think they just wanted it more than Texas Tech did.
No, they definitely did. They limited that Texas Tech offense to only 276 total yards, which is well below their total average of the season. Time of possession and drive efficiency really favored for Arizona State here. They limited Texas Tech time of possession and really took advantage of the less offensive efficiency, controlled the clock and sustained drives. And like you said, Sam Leavitt came in throwing for over 300 yards, 0 turnovers. Like you said, the Big Ten is up in the air. It's anybody's conference to lose, honestly. I mean, Arizona State coming into this season, they were the top dogs. They were ranked heavily. Like you said,
they're
Texas
the favorites.
Tech, yeah, they were definitely the
They were one play away from a Cinderella run, man.
Honestly, yeah. And then this Texas Tech squad kind of just emerged out of nowhere, right? Nothing that I expected, not from a Texas Tech team. So for Arizona State, I mean, you just build off this momentum with your quarterback, your star receiver, and Tyson, who also played a huge factor in this game, and just run away with it for the rest of the season.
Now, I do want to say this. Do not sell on Texas Tech.
Absolutely
This is still a team that rallied late in the game, scored 15 points in the fourth quarter, and really had the shot to win it at the very end before everything kind of fell apart all over again. It would just end up being Arizona's day. As a man who prides himself in being a pretty good futures bet man, I make a good amount of money through futures bets. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the kind of moment I dream of. A team where everybody thinks, yes, this is them. They're going to make it to the college football playoff. They're going to do this. They're going to win this title, all this kind of stuff. They lose a game when a lot of people feel they weren't supposed to lose. Then a lot of people start to kind of brush them aside. That's when you jump on that Texas Tech money line, pick them to make the college football playoff right now if you haven't yet, because their line is about to skyrocket again because they're going to go right back to blowing teams out of the water. Do not punt on the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Oh, yeah. Another team I hope people didn't punt on is the Vanderbilt Commodores. After their very tough loss to the Alabama Crimson Tide, everybody's like, all right, it was a nice story. Diego Pavia, you suck. Go back home to your mama. Vanderbilt's back to being Vanderbilt. Not so fast, my friend. Shout out Lee Corso. Because the number 10 team in the nation, the LSU Tigers, came into Nashville to take on Vandy and were pretty much run out of the stadium. The score makes it seem closer than it really was. Vanderbilt was in control the entire way through this 31-24 win against the LSU Tigers. John, I want to start with you. Mm-hmm. How far do you think this Vanderbilt team can go?
I think they can push it. I mean, this is a team that they've been building on for quite a while, and the way that Diego Pavia has this team under his control, I mean, they get these guys fired up. They really, really can get things going. I mean, if you look at the rest of their season, who they got here? They have Missouri this week, which obviously College Game Day is going to. They got Texas after this, and honestly, Texas doesn't look that complete. Nope. So with the way they've been playing, and then you got Auburn, Kentucky, and then Tennessee at the end, which obviously that's circled on Diego Pavia's calendar because he already made his claim earlier in the offseason this year that, like, we're going to run the state of Tennessee. We're gonna run you out of our stadium or whatever. I think they can do something pretty deep. Do I think they can make a push for the college football playoffs? Possibly. But they could eat themselves alive. That's one thing we talk about. You know what can happen with them. They can have all this momentum, and then like Vanderbilt usually would do, they'll lose. Simple as that.
And Schrader, sorry about that, John.
No, that's fine. That's all I was going to.
But yeah, that was my next thing here. So Schrader, when you look forward to this through the rest of their schedule here. Like I said, they have a tough game against Missouri next week, two teams that are really fighting to stay alive in the SEC race. Then they have Texas, who a lot of us don't really have much faith in. Auburn plays every game close. Kentucky isn't that great. Then they ended off against Tennessee, who just lost against Alabama as well, and probably their worst game of the season. So when you look at it, no slate in the SEC is easy. But this is one of the better Final 4 or 5 game slates you can have if you're Vandy. So what do you expect for them the rest of the season? Do you think they have a chance to make it to Atlanta?
I do think they have a chance to make it to Atlanta simply because I don't see a game on their schedule that I don't think they can win. This LSU game was a big factor in where this team's going to go from this point on. If they lose this LSU game, all right, they're going to be the Vandy that we all know, kind of like last year. They started off hot. They fell off at the end.
Yep.
But they beat down on LSU. I mean, this game was a masterclass in Pavia football. Their head coach, Clark Lee, if you want a good story, look up his, because he was born and raised in Nashville, grew up a Vanderbilt fan, went to Vanderbilt, got the Vanderbilt job. His childhood best friend is the GM of that football team, and all that they want to do is make Vanderbilt something special. That's what he said. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think this program is being set up for long-term success, and I think this is just the start. But you look at the short term, you look at this season, I think Vanderbilt has a great shot to be in the ACC title game, or the SEC title game.
Wrong conference.
Because this schedule is very favorable. There's not a game here that I don't think that I think they can't win. So yeah, I mean, it's looking good over there in Nashville.
Yeah, definitely looking good. I mean, they're riding with confidence and momentum too. I mean, they're beating teams like the LSU. They're losing where they only lost to a team like Alabama, who we know is one of the best teams in the country, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, heading into these Final Four, right? I mean, like you say, there's really no team that I'm not confident of them not beating them. Texas is shaky.
Yeah.
Auburn is Auburn.
Mizzou's the main word for them,
Texas is built on sand,
man. Missouri, like you say, Missouri, honestly, I think that'd be a tougher game for them than Texas would be. And then the last game of the season against Tennessee.
Tennessee's the tough one.
Yeah, right. Tennessee's really the only shaky game that I have them facing for the rest of the season. Other than that, though, everything looks pretty confident for the Commanders or Commodores.
This Commodores team is very interesting to watch. They play a very entertaining brand of football. I feel like their passing game is a lot stronger than it was last year. Diego Pavia is really pushing the ball down the field confidently and accurately when they need it. I'm interested to see how far these Vanderbilt Commodores can go in this season. I don't have them in my SEC championship, but I think they're going to make the race very interesting going down the wire. Another team here, a lot of people put it on early. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish lost their first game on the road to Miami, Catholics versus Convicts, 27-24. Then lost to a very entertaining game, to the Texas A&M Aggies, 41-40. But since then, they've strung off what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight wins in very impressive fashion that have them sitting currently at 5-2 and ranked as the number 12 team in the nation. So I want to open this up to all of you here. Despite their slow start, do you think this Notre Dame team could still punch their ticket into the college football playoff by the end of the season?
Honestly, after the first 2 games, I kind of counted them out a little bit. I mean, even though they did lose to tough teams, I still kind of counted them out a little bit. This was a good USC team that they faced, right? Very good team, good receiver core, good running back, good coach, all of that. What really played a factor into this game, and honestly what's going to play a factor into the rest of the season, is their running back, Jeremiah Love.
Oh, it was Jeremiah Love's show the whole game.
It's going to be a show for the remainder of the season. They're counting him heavy on the offensive side to ride them throughout the rest of the season. CJ Carr has to keep playing like as he has already have been this entire season, and then of course that defense had to clean up and stay on point. Other than that, though, I mean, this Notre Dame team, I could see them in Atlanta at the end of the season in the playoffs.
Yeah, I look at this Notre Dame team, and they have to win out. If they want to go to the playoffs, they have to win out. And 10 straight wins to go to the playoffs is very difficult. Yep. But there's the perk to not being in a conference. They do not have a tough schedule at all. No. I mean, they got Boston College, who just got whacked by UConn at home.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford. So it's not a difficult challenge to win out and go to the playoff. Now, will the committee favor them? I don't know, because it is still they're not in a conference But I think they could go to the playoff only if they went out.
And, that's where it gets interesting. So, John, I have a question for you here. I'm going to give you a quick hypothetical.
Yep.
So, like you said, Notre Dame lost their first 2 games of the season, very close margins to very talented teams. And they've been dominating the rest of their games. But like you said, they play Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, Stanford. They don't really have a murderous row ahead of them. And they also will not benefit from a potential conference championship win at the end of the season. So let's say Notre Dame wins out here, goes what, 10-2. And let's say Alabama and Texas A&M make the SEC championship, and Alabama loses to Texas A&M and ends up going 11-2 this season. Let's say somehow it shakes up coming between those 2 teams, or maybe a Georgia team loses a second game
SEC
somewhere
team's
in
getting
here.
in.
Exactly. Would you favor Notre Dame over one of those teams?
No,
not at all. It's just I think it's the factor of conference play. It's not that you had 2 very tough games, but not having that conference play and that conference championship to give you that extra push to show that you played a really good game, that's just like an Achilles heel almost. And that's why, like, I say it a bunch to people I know, Notre Dame fans, like, I'm wondering how your season would be if you guys actually joined the ACC. How would things look for y'all?
Now, before we move on here, I do want to mention, so we mentioned the ACC. Maybe using the SEC for my example wasn't as good because how strong the SEC is per capita. But when we look at a conference like the ACC, let's say we get a Miami-Louisville rematch in the ACC championship. Let's say Miami wins that matchup and Louisville ends up being a 2-loss team. And it comes down between having a 2-loss Notre Dame or a 2-loss ACC runner-up in Louisville. Which team do you all feel will be favored there?
That is a much better argument because
Well,
I don't know. I would personally, put Louisville in, but that's because my thought process is they were good enough to go to a conference championship game. You're giving them an extra game. They shouldn't necessarily be penalized for losing that game when this team's too stubborn to join a conference because
Money.
they think
Simple
that
as
they're
money.
cool.
I feel being penalized for losing your conference title game begins to devalue the conference title game as a whole. And if it is that specific situation, Louisville will have the matchup advantage over Notre Dame because they will have beat the same Miami team that Notre Dame lost to. But even if they didn't play Miami, I still feel like that 2-loss Louisville team would deserve to be in over a 2-loss Notre Dame.
But do the teams that deserve it get it?
Right, and that's what's very interesting about this playoff. And the committee says that they're using new metrics to factor in strength of schedule and all these other different things, but at the same time, these are
the same committee.
And then it's the same committee that we've seen make controversial decisions year in and year out, offering little explanation behind why they're doing it. It's why I really hate the anonymous committee. I hate all these sorts of things because it allows people a barrier.
Bring back the BCS.
They have straight up immunity. They don't have to answer for the decisions they make. And they just leave it to people like us in the media to really debate it all, but it really makes no difference because at the end of the day, they'll be right back next year making the same controversial decisions. I'm very interested to see how this 12-team playoff shakes out. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting, but in my eyes, I feel like you shouldn't be punished for losing your conference championship game.
Agreed.
You being in a
100%
conference
agreed.
and playing in a title game should mean something in the end. I'm not saying it won't, but I'm saying there's a chance it might be diminished, and I'm very excited to see how that shakes out this year.
Well, if guys get penalized for that, then teams aren't going to want to go to the conference championship game.
Exactly. And then you might have a team like Georgia who might miss their conference title game and still be, 10-1?
Hey, then they're just fresh to go to the playoff.
Yep, exactly.
Just an extra
They
bye
have
week.
they end up having a bye week. It's very interesting. The 12-team format is something I cannot say I was strongly advocating for. I wanted expansion, but my expanded playoff was more so 6, maybe 8 teams.
What if we just do it like the FCS does it?
32?
Yeah, I mean, just an actual playoff, the way that every other sport does playoffs.
Yeah.
To where you don't have to put it in the hands of all these
Of an anonymous
random ADs that do not understand football.
Right. I'm with you, but this is a topic that we're gonna have to dive into another day. Maybe when we do our selection
Special
show
episode,
in December. It's gonna be very interesting to see, nonetheless. But sorry for having getting sidetracked here. We got more sports to talk about. It's hard for me to not get wrapped up in the world of college football when so much great stuff is happening in the sport at the moment, so many exciting games. I just don't want it to get squandered by another weird decision by the selection committee. But like I said, we're going to do a special college football playoff selection show at the end of the semester to talk all about it. But as of right now, the NBA is on its way back. And we got some news. I know, Schrader. I know.
Yeah, let's say,
We're going to get into
calm
the
down.
MLB very soon. We have some breaking news from our hometown Atlanta Hawks with Dyson Daniels, the rising star in Atlanta, re-signing for a 4-year, $100 million extension with the Atlanta Hawks.
A lot of dough.
Seems like the Hawks are looking to go all in after a very aggressive offseason and re-signing our young talent. I think everyone in the city that watches the Hawks understands this is our window. Our time is now. We're going to touch on the Hawks a little more soon because like Schrader was he was giving me the death stare. Y'all couldn't see us give me
I
the
thought
death
we were
stare
talking
here.
about preseason again.
He was
No,
about to lose
not
it.
quite. But the regular season does tip off tomorrow. But we're not going to talk about that yet. We're going to start off with the MLB playoffs as the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays are currently tied up at 3. It's Game 7. Win or go home. Winner moves on to take on the L.A. Dodgers. Schrader,
Yep.
this series has been incredible.
Yes.
The Blue Jays came back from being down 2-0 in a very exciting 2-game stretch, but it's now locked up at 3. What are the keys to this game, and who do you have coming away with it?
So, first of all, Game 7 are the 2 best words in sports, and we get that on a random Monday in October. So just think about how great the month of October is for watching sports. You get college football, and you get a Game 7 2 days later. It's awesome, but this series has been one heck of a series because it's 2 teams that are starving, 2 fan bases that want nothing more than a championship. And we got a Game 7 to go to the World Series and take on the bad guys, right? The Dodgers are the bad guys.
Yeah.
We all know it. And so this series has been great. Started off hot for the Mariners, but then the Blue Jays, they just turned it on, and they are hitting that ball further than I will ever go in life. I mean, they have turned it on the offensive side of the ball. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is playing out of his mind. He's playing out of his mind, and I mean, it's great to see this type of series. But I think the real key to it is momentum. I think the Blue Jays are taking it simply because they're at home and they got Mr. Momentum on their side. But there is one downside. Vladdy walked into the stadium today wearing a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. And if you know anything about hockey, you know that the Maple Leafs are allergic to winning Game 7s. So I don't know if he made a great decision there because if he brings that curse to the Blue Jays, that city might burn tonight.
I'm gonna be throwing holy water all over the city of Toronto. I'm praying for you guys because I'm pulling for the Blue Jays as well. I love the story. It's been insane watching them this postseason. I'm a Vladdy Guerrero fan. I've been watching for the past few years. Like you said, this city's starving. It's October, man. I'm a Drake fan. OVO, October's very own. I need Toronto to win this series and take down the bad guys.
Yeah, and before we move on from the MLB and go to the NBA, I'll just casually mention that we might have the greatest athlete on the planet playing for the Dodgers.
Ohtani.
Because he had 10 strikeouts and he hit 3 home runs in the same game. Never been done before. Don't think anybody else could do it.
10 strikeouts and 3 home runs in the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what they're feeding this guy or what Mr. Tommy John has done to him, but I can't even. I'm speechless. I mean,
that is insane.
If a guy were to hit 3
Talk
home
about
runs,
PO power.
if a guy's hitting 3 home runs in a postseason game, he's going to get praised as one of the best hitters in the world. Then you throw 10 strikeouts in a postseason game, and you're one of the best pitchers in the world. You do both, you're the best athlete in the world, period.
No doubt. I mean, that's ridiculous. He is without a doubt the best player in all of baseball. That is an insane stat line. And
Didn't even give up a run, by
I
the
can't
way.
even do that in the show.
Dude,
It's impossible.
I can't even do that in a dream.
I got to put the setting on rookie in order to get that type of stat line.
Like I said, I wouldn't even dream of doing something like that. That is ridiculous. Now, before we end off this segment, I do have to mention NBA season tips off tomorrow. First game being the Houston Rockets, a very popular pick to make the NBA Finals this year after the addition of Kevin Durant to what I feel was already one of the best young rosters in all the NBA. Who's picking them to go to the Finals? It's me, that too. Going up against the defending champs,
Not to toot
the
your own horn, but-
Oklahoma City Thunder box office game. Then later that night at 10 p.m., the Golden State Warriors taking on the LA Lakers, who are currently without LeBron, but he will be back mid-November.
No LeBron.
But nonetheless, Luka's lost weight. It's going to be a very exciting game.
Actually, I'm pretty sure he put on weight.
I mean, but
Better be
muscle,
probably muscle.
But
right,
it's
muscle,
muscle.
muscle weighs more than fat, so he looks like he lost weight, same way Zion did, but they probably might still be around the same weight, if not heavier. But nonetheless, it's good weight. It's going to be very exciting. I cannot wait to see it. And one more thing to touch on. Wednesday night, the real season kicks off, right? Like those are the first 2 games, which is really going to be full-fledged
Right.
NBA basketball. The Hawks start off 7:30 Wednesday night against Toronto Raptors. But Inside the NBA has a new home on ESPN. Starting this Wednesday, you'll be able to see Ernie, Shaq, Chuck, and Kenny
What a
still
fumble
doing
by
Inside the
TNT.
NBA, but they'll be on ESPN. I figured that was worth mentioning. I love the show. They inspire me every single day to pursue a career in sports media. They have so much fun doing it.
Funny jump.
But they're now on ESPN, man. So hopefully it's still as good. I know it will be with those guys at the helm. I cannot wait for basketball season, really, just so I can watch Inside the NBA. In a recent survey, almost 53% of full-time college students ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. That is why Wolf Sports Network and Wolf Radio's Drink Responsibly campaign is here to remind you that there is no drinking under the age of 21. I can do it now.
Now you're legal. You're part of that Drink Responsibly campaign.
How about it,
Let's Come on now.
How about it?
You see me doing something, I tell you, go mind your business, boy, because I'm legal.
Slap that license down.
But remember to never drink and drive, even if it's only 1 beer, and if you are 21, still don't drink and drive. And to add food and water when you drink, so you don't end up texting your ex. Believe me, nothing good comes of it. Even when you're drunk, you're going to remember it in the morning. You might regret it a little bit. Meaning, know your limits. Now, like I said, don't hit that dial, because when we get back, we're diving into this NFL weekend and making our Monday Night Football double-header picks. This is Sports Pack on Wolf Sports Network. We'll see you in a second. Stay locked. You're listening to Sports Pack right here on Wolf Sports Network. The Wolves play here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Playbook Training Camp. Now we throw it down to Joey, who's interviewing head coach Brandon Dyer.
Thanks, JT. I'm here with head coach Brandon Dyer. And Brandon, there have been many reports about starting punter Jackson Voss saying that he peaked in high school. Now, what are your thoughts on how he will perform this semester with the playbook?
Well, Joey, I have full confidence that Jackson Voss will be a breakout star for the playbook this season. And you'll find out Fridays at noon only on Wolf Sports Network.
Step right up, folks. It's season 2 of the playbook, where we're talking everything college basketball and baseball and...
Wait, Jackson. Dude, it's fall. And just like a playbook, I think we need to call an audible.
We are talking strictly college football all semester on season 2 of the playbook, Fridays at noon, only on Wolf Sports Network.
It's time for season 2 of the playbook, and we're talking all things college football, putting together a better sophomore season than Tim Tebow in 2007.
To the listeners and everybody at Wolf Nation, I promise you one thing. You will never see an on-air personality work as hard as I will for season 2 of the playbook, and we will make this show better than any college football radio show will ever be for season 2 of the playbook.
Listen as we fulfill this promise, live, every Friday at noon.
This season, everything changes. I'm the only one who came back, and honestly, I might regret it.
Josh Allen might just be the best athlete the NFL has ever seen.
Spencer Strider is an elite closer posing as an ace.
D Rose is the most overrated player of all time.
One vet, all new voices, hot takes, wild debates, and zero chill. Season 6 of Sports Out of Pocket debuts this fall, only on Wolf Sports Network.
In the NFL, only one thing matters: chasing a dynasty.
A lot of interesting storylines after this weekend's NFL slate. But I want to start right here at home with our Atlanta Falcons, who are having one of the more up and down seasons I've ever seen, but I expect nothing less from the Atlanta Falcons team that's still very young. New head coach Raheem Morris in his second year here in Atlanta, and they're still trying to really get things figured out. Had a Sunday night football game after our very impressive win against the Buffalo Bills on Monday Night Football on the road in the Golden City, taking on the San Francisco 49ers, where the Falcons came short in I won't say super embarrassing fashion, just
it was just sloppy. I feel
boring
like.
fashion. Like I said, a very sloppy game. This team kind of imploded on itself, but very slowly, losing 20-10 to the San Francisco 49ers. Keyshawn, I want to start with you. What happened?
That defense happened. It looked like the defense against Carolina, the number one defense in the league, didn't show up that night. they allowed Christian McCaffrey to run all over them, averaging over 5 yards per carry. Through the air, though, I mean, they had it on lock. Only allowed Mac Jones to throw for 150 yards, forced a turnover, zero touchdowns. So, I mean, honestly, when you look at this game, you have to look at, let's go with the D-line and the linebackers. Okay, we got to contain Christian McCaffrey, but we also got to point to the offense as well. Only putting up 10 points in a game like this,
right?
You can't expect to win, right? You can't expect. B. John Robinson didn't really come to play. He only had 40 rushing yards. So, I mean, the whole offense was kind of just like up in the air, right? Couldn't really move the ball, couldn't get the ball in the red zone, couldn't put points on the board. Defensively, nobody could stop Christian McCaffrey. So, I mean, it's like we have those two factors. I mean, of course you're going to lose the game. I mean, were they home or away this game?
It was an away game.
It was away.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that also didn't help either that they were away. So, I mean, like, everything just kind of went wrong for the Falcons here.
Like I said, the offense was very stagnant. Defense did enough, limited Mac Jones. Christian McCaffrey had over 200 all-purpose yards. Receiving, he had 72. Rushing, he had 24 carries for 129 and 2 touchdowns. I mean, Christian McCaffrey did Christian McCaffrey things.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the defense kept the Falcons in it, and the Falcons' offense had multiple chances to get it in the end zone right before halftime, had the intentional grounding. That took
we
points
did drive
off,
killers. That's what we had.
Exactly, that took points off the board. A lot of drive killers, similar to West Georgia, mind you. A lot of drive killers when you have opportunities to get things done. John.
Yeah.
What do the Falcons need to do to clean this up?
I think the one thing that I saw from last night was the way that our offensive play calling is, and honestly, our offensive line. I mean, they're injured. We lost Michael Penix's blindside right tackle and Caleb McGarry this year. We signed to a huge deal, and so you've had guys rotating in there. I mean, the right side of our line got absolutely bullied last night. And then the play call, I mean, obviously we made some good play calls. There was not some bad, there was maybe some questionable calls and there was some questionable choices. But at the same time, Zach Robinson, you cannot counter against a blitz off the right side. What you're literally seeing, you're on the field looking right at them, and you can't decide to change out of your pistol formation that you run for God knows what reason that it works and it doesn't work. And the next thing I know, we're just shooting ourselves in the foot. We're taking 2 steps back, and then as much confidence as I got back within you from these changes, I've lost it all again. I see these things. I'm surprised you're also not yelling at Darnell Mooney for wearing sleeves last night. You're a receiver. You don't need to wear sleeves. You need your skin to catch the ball. Yes, it's a weird story. I yelled at Darnell Mooney through the TV last night.
You don't like when receivers wear sleeves?
No. My running backs coach in high school, Brandon Jacobs, explained to me on why you do not need sleeves as a receiver. Long story. I'm not going to go into it.
I've seen Justin Jefferson wear sleeves and go for almost 200 yards. So I'm going to go ahead and say your running backs coach might have been wrong there. It's not.
He won 2 Super Bowls, so I don't know.
I mean, he did. Look,
Teach his own.
I've talked to a lot of women in my life, and I'm still wrong very often. So I don't know if limited success leads to you being right.
That's just a personal thing.
Right, I don't know if
I
success
think.
leads to you being right all the time. But look, like I said, to each his own.
Yeah.
But I do have an idea of what can maybe help this Falcons team.
And that would be.
And like I said, I'm not really tripping about this loss because team's 3-3 going against the Miami Dolphins at home next week. A team that's kind of imploding.
I'll give you a quick
itself.
scouting report. We suck.
Exactly. So I feel like this Falcons team still has a lot of good ball ahead of them. It can still go way worse. I think one thing will really help this Falcons team, and that is adding another weapon for Michael Penix in this offense at receiver. And I think you don't have to look much farther than the team you're taking on next week, going out and targeting a guy like Jalen Waddle. Because Schrader, I think it's about time the Miami Dolphins clean house. It's about time.
It's about time. Yeah, I mean, before I get to the Dolphins, though, I do want to say something about this Falcons-49ers game. I know we're talking a lot about the Falcons, but really quickly, if you want to see picture-perfect coaching, look at what the Niners did. Backup quarterback in. What did they do? They established the run game. It was the only thing the Falcons defense could not stop, yet it took so much pressure off of Mac Jones that it gave the 49ers offense a pretty easy day when it comes to moving the ball and scoring. So just wanted to put that out there. That's how you call plays when you have a backup quarterback. Right. That's why Kyle Shanahan is getting paid the big bucks. But yeah, the Dolphins, I mean, it's been a dumpster fire down there all season. Tua's just seeing ghosts. McDaniels, this team's not holding itself to a high standard. No. The players don't care. They don't want to be there. Locker room's lost. McDaniels is, I don't really know what he's doing. Kind of looks like he's smoking pot half the time. It's wild. I mean, it's tough to see, but I think the big problem's the GM. The management of this team has just been awful. I think that need to let the GM go, completely clean house, get some trade capital in. and then start something new. Maybe go get Gruden. Get a little firepower down there. Get a little moxie down there.
I wouldn't be mad at it. And when you look at this Dolphins team, they have assets. Even when they blow everything up, they don't have to be down too long because of the guys they have.
Build around A-Chain.
Exactly. I mean, even if you don't, hear me out. You have a guy in Jalen Waddle who is a very good receiver. He was a 1 his rookie year. I think he'd be very valuable to a team like the Falcons, who already have dynamic weapons like Drake London and Bijan Robinson. But adding a guy like Jalen Waddle into that mix, defenses won't know who to plan for. Every single play, there's going to be somebody available to make a play, a guy that can get open, run those short, intermediate, even stretch the defense downfield for Michael Penix to have a real deal, deep ball, and speed threat as a wide receiver. I think Waddle is a great asset to get draft picks for him. You also have guys like Tyreek Hill and Devon A-Chain still on the roster. I understand wanting to keep A-Chain because how dynamic of a talent he is at running back.
I think it's how young he is, too.
I understand.
That's a big deal.
I get it. But if you're blowing everything up, it's looking like they might bench Tua this week for Quinn Ewers.
Are you mad at it, though?
But here's
They're sticking with Tua this week. McDaniel's confirmed.
Right. I'm not saying I'm mad at it, but I'm saying if you have turmoil already at the quarterback position, your head coach is probably going to be out by the end of the year. People are talking about bringing in a guy like John Gruden and all these other people. You need your new GM and head coach to have something to work with. So I say you trade off Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Devon A-Chain. Get as much draft capital as possible for those guys that when your new GM and head coach do come in, they have a stockpile of first, second, and third round picks over the next 2 and 3 years so they can build up their next team. So they can build up the Miami Dolphins are going to be under their regime.
That's exactly what the Dolphins did to kind of build this little core. There was a time about 2-3 years ago where we were looking at the Dolphins going, these guys might be the next big thing. Didn't get a playoff win out of it, but you've seen it to where a team trades all this, gets a lot of young draft capital or just young players, and they're able to build something great. So I think if the Dolphins take 2 years, 3 years, they can rebuild that pretty quickly with the assets that they have.
I think so too, and then also getting rid of those big names rids you of massive contracts that come with it. Because if you do keep
how we're getting out of Tua, I have no idea.
Right, exactly. I don't know either. I don't know all the logistics behind it. I'm not a GM yet, but I am open for work. I will be free in the spring. Go ahead and let your GM walk right before draft. I'll make some flights down to Miami while I'm working on getting my degree. We'll work out a deal. Miami Dolphins, hit me. I'm on LinkedIn at Richard Reed. You know where to find me.
Fine.
But yeah, like I said, it's. I feel like it's a pretty obvious thing how to do it here. Then in freeing up those 3 guys, you rid of their contracts as well. A-Chain is going to get a big-time payday very, very soon. Let another team do that. Get the 2 first-round picks, maybe 3 first-round picks that Devon A-Chain is worth, and pay that forward. Get some defensive guys, get some more offensive weapons, and build for the future. Miami, it's time to let it go. But I will tell you this, John. The Kansas City Chiefs, I sound like Jamal Charles. The Kansas City Chiefs are not letting go of this dynasty anytime soon. After a dominant 31-0 win against the Oakland Raiders, where Patrick Mahomes threw for 286 yards and 3 touchdowns in the return of Rashee Rice. John.
Yes.
Should the Chiefs be the favorites to win the Super Bowl right now?
Just Super Bowl.
Yes, the Super Bowl.
I say no, but don't count them out. You have your pieces back. They're figuring out the offense, especially in the red zone. I noticed. Rashee Rice had 2 red zone touchdowns. They're getting things working over there. Their game plan's getting installed. This is what we expect the Chiefs to be. So what I say is win the Super Bowl. I don't know. I can't. I wouldn't say.
But if they're not the ones favored to do it, then who would be?
You bring a compelling argument there, Mr. Reed.
The Detroit Lions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Indianapolis Colts.
I was about
to say those 3 teams would be the maybe Bucks or Colts right now.
Schrader, you're shaking your head. What you think?
Yeah, I think I'm prepared to answer this. I think the Chiefs might be the favorites to win the Super Bowl, and here's why. You can look at their record and say, oh, they're 4-3. They're not the Chiefs that we know. They're the most experienced postseason team in the league.
True.
They're the team that has won the Super Bowl. They've done it multiple times, and a lot of guys on that roster are starving to do it again. They have a quarterback who might be the GOAT by the end of it. When he retires, he might hang up those cleats, and he might be undisputably the GOAT because all he has to do is keep doing what he's been doing. That's all we've had to say. He's in the GOAT conversation in year 7. That's outrageous, and I think that this Chiefs team, with the experience they have, with the way that they're playing, the Raiders aren't the greatest team in the world, but they're a division opponent, and they hate the Chiefs, and the Chiefs just absolutely curb stomped them. 31-0, they're playing like a Super Bowl contender, and I think right now they could very well be the favorites.
They definitely could be the favorites. Would I have them winning? I don't know if I go that far, but they definitely make a strong case throughout the rest of the season. I mean, you started off slow, but coming back into where we are now, they're getting their pieces back, getting Rashee Rice back, they're getting Hollywood Brown, they're getting Xavier Worthy back in tune. So I mean, everything's
only getting better.
Right,
Yep.
they're only getting better. Everything's kind of falling back into place now for these Chiefs. I mean, like you said, it's Pat Mahomes. I mean, just off of reputation, we know what they can do as a team. We know what he can do as a quarterback, as a leader. So I mean, just because they're 4-3, they started off slow, I wouldn't necessarily count this team out. I mean, they're definitely a contender no matter what the record is.
Yeah, and it's that no factor, right? You look at the Lions, you look at the Colts, you look at all these other teams, and we think they could be contenders, but we know that the Chiefs can be contenders. And what you have seen so far this year is the best thing that could have happened to the Chiefs is they flew off of everybody's radar because of how they started.
Yep.
And when a dominant team, when a contender falls off the radar, that's when they can just quietly just handle business.
Exactly.
That's the best place you could have put the Chiefs in, and they know that now they're almost like an underdog. People don't see them winning the championship, and they won it. I think they could get it, and I think they might.
And honestly, as the betting man that I am, and I'm proud to be that.
That I am.
I don't do player props, but I do straight up team picks and futures. I would put every penny I have right now on the Kansas City Chiefs winning the Super Bowl this year. Because when you look at this roster, you have Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Steve Spagnuolo, outstanding coaching staff, right? Mm-hmm. But you also have the players to back it up. The defense is what has been every single year in the Pat Mahomes era. It's just about elite. They're solid. They can get stops when they need to.
What do defenses do?
Win championships.
But then you look at the offensive side of the ball. They are as deep at receiver as they have ever been in Patrick Mahomes' time here.
He's got weapons.
Rashee Rice is back. I believe at his best, he's a top receiver in all of football. And he had 2 touchdowns this past game, but he's really just getting started. That was a warm-up for him. He had 7 targets in that game, and they were still only running them on comeback routes and little fades in the red zone and jet sweeps. They haven't even really expanded the Rashee Rice playbook yet. And I want you to listen, and write this name down, especially if you play fantasy football. Brashard Smith. He has been getting more and more touches week in and week out for the Kansas City Chiefs at running back. He was a dynamic part of that SMU playoff team last year in the college football season. Brashard Smith is for real. He can run between tackles, great change of direction, and he has breakaway, home run speed. By the time the playoffs start, Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt will still be on this team, but they're going to be red zone backs because Brashard Smith is going to get the lion's share of the targets out of the backfield as a pass catcher and between the tackles. This Chiefs team is for real, and if the season ended right now, I will pick them to win the Super Bowl.
They gave a world-class hunter, elite weapons, and let's just say the Chiefs are going to eat.
Yep.
I mean, simple as that.
And that was the perfect way to wrap it. Right before we talk about this Monday Night Football doubleheader, starting off with the game between the 5-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the 4-2 Detroit Lions, who are currently 2-0 at home. John, before we pick this game, remind the people of our policy. Sports Pack and Wolf Sports Network are not liable for any financial losses that may occur due to using our picks outside of the show. These are just our opinions. Don't blame us. Blame the players. Now that we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's, it's time to make our game picks. Keyshawn, I want to start with you. 2 of the hottest teams in the NFC, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just got a whole lot healthier, as it was announced right before the show that Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka will both be active for Baker Mayfield and the Kansas City Chiefs. For Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who you got, the Bucs or the Lions at home?
This game coming in, the Bucs are red hot, right? They're leading the NFC South. Like you said, they just got healthier. Going into today, we didn't know if they were going to have Emeka Egbuka or Mike Evans. They surely don't have Chris Godwin. So earlier going into this day, I was thinking maybe the Lions may, make a strong case. But now that we know who they have, I definitely leaning towards the Bucs now. Because not only do they have their playmakers, they've shown all season that they can win these close games. These how do you want to say it? These
nail biters?
Nail biters. There you go. Nail biters. They kind of live with that mentality throughout the whole season. And I feel like tonight is going to be another one of those close games to where it's going to come down to a nail biter. Now that they actually have help from their receivers, I'm just going to lean towards the Bucs even more.
Yeah, I look at this game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been on fire this year. I mean, they got the white boy of white boys leading that team. I mean, Baker Mayfield has these guys buzzing down there, and they have all their weapons. They have Mike. They have Emeka Egbuka.
Yep.
I mean, this team looks good. They're on fire, and I love this Lions team. I've praised this Lions team just about as long as I've been here at the station, but I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to really have another one of their statement wins. I think we're going to get some great Baker Mayfield edits, but I think the Bucs are going to handle business. Not that my picks have really been right. I think I'm allergic. I'm allergic to picking the right team to win, but I think I'm getting over it. So give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Look, I mean, this is a matchup tonight. I'm excited for this, and there's one thing about this game. I love Dan Campbell and the Lions. Simple as that. And I absolutely hate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. Just long-time hatred. So simple as for tonight, I got the Lions.
I think this game is going to be nothing short of incredible. Like I said, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers receiver room is healthy, and this Lions DB room, it has a few healthy scratches. I mean, Brian Branch is out for this game. He's suspended after his scuffle against the Kansas City Chiefs last week.
What a guy.
They have a few more injuries in the secondary, so I think Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers will be able to expose some aspects of the secondary. Still, no Terrion Arnold and other guys aren't available for the Detroit Lions. But they're coming off a loss, going back home to Ford Field in Detroit.
And it gets loud.
It gets extremely loud in there. I think this team is motivated, looking to come out and prove a point. A lot of people kind of push them to the side of their kind of somewhat embarrassing loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to be a very good game. It's going to come down to the end. Another super close game for the Bucs. But I think the Detroit Lions get this one done, hand the Buccaneers their second loss of the season. It's going to be a great game nonetheless. The Buccaneers are going to have opportunities at the end of the game, and I fully expect them to capitalize. But I think this Lions team is motivated. They're ready, and they're going to find a way to beat this red-hot Tampa Bay Buccaneers team that I fully believe is going to play deep into January this upcoming year. Now, the late game, because we have a 10 o'clock Monday Night Football game. I don't have time to get into how I feel about that. But the Houston Texans going on the road to Lumen Field to take on the Seattle Seahawks. John, I've got a bit of a Seattle Seahawks blue here, so I want to start with you. Who you got and why?
Green?
Blue-green, I mean,
same deal.
Yeah.
You know what? Simple as tonight, I got
that
the
shirt's
Seahawks.
not green, by the way.
It's green.
Definitely green.
From the listing online, it's green. So
That's
that's
definitely green, Richard.
Yeah,
That's
I was about to
turquoise.
say.
Did I get that right? Turquoise?
I think so.
I don't know.
It's more
I
of
might
a
have gotten that
blue-green
wrong.
than a
All right, guys, we got a game to pick. We got a game to pick.
I don't think that was good.
Look,
It has blue elements.
game to pick tonight.
Swamp.
I got okay.
I got swamp.
I got the Seahawks mainly because of their defense, especially after last time when Riley was on. He's talking about how good a Mike McDaniel's defense was. I mean, you saw what they did. And I'm pretty sure it was the Arizona game, if I remember off the top of my head. Their defense is really solid. They've got JSN flying on the other side of the ball. K9, he's there. He's doing something, but you have that little piece, and you can rotate in Zach Charbonnet. So I like what the Seahawks got tonight.
Yeah, I look at this game. The Texans they're not the team that we thought they were. They're coming off of a dominant win against the Ravens, but that's another team who's just not who we thought they were going to be to start the season. This Seahawks team has won 4 of their last 5. The only loss was a very close one to Tampa Bay. Yes, Richard, that shirt looks blue to me.
It looks very blue. I'm still looking at it. It's
But does I have
blue.
light on me or something?
I think it's the Seahawks that are going to win this game. It's at home. That's a tough. They got the 12th man on their side. That's a blue shirt, John. I can't get over
is.
that crap.
And I'm comparing
Yeah, you
it
said
to
that
your green.
about
Give me the
another
Seahawks.
one.
Your
That's
shirt,
a blue shirt.
Your shirt is very green.
This is
I think
green.
they're
That's
crazy.
obviously
Keyshawn
green.
has on glasses, so he obviously can't see what he's talking about. I
Hey,
think
man, these
it's-
glasses aren't prescripted, so
Oh,
I'm,
I didn't know
that
that.
shirt is
You're a
green,
phony.
Richard.
Look, he's a phony.
That's blue.
But for me, plain and simple, I got Seattle with this one. The strength of the schedule, strength of the roster is a lot heavier than the Texans, and the Texans haven't had their strongest start to their season. I mean, they were, I believe, 0-3 before they got their first win, and then their 2 wins they have this season are against teams with terrible defenses or terrible offense, terrible teams in general, right? So, plain and simple, I'm gonna just go with Seattle for this one.
I hate when we do this, but I'm going with Seattle as well. I think they're the better team here. The Texans' offensive line has struggled. Had a confidence booster of a win against a very battered Baltimore Ravens team a couple weeks ago going into their bye week. But I think the Seahawks are the better team here. Long way to travel for the Houston Texans. I'm going with the Seahawks. And that is all the time we have for Sports Pack tonight. Want to reiterate, John's shirt is indeed blue.
Yeah,
he just went on the website looking for it. It's a blue
wasn't
shirt.
there.
Exactly.
It's a popular shirt then.
Blue.
It's much closer to blue than it is green. Schrader has on green. That shirt is blue. But
Whatever.
it doesn't matter because that's all the time we have for Sports Pack tonight. I want to thank you, all of our sponsors, Dine West, Westwoods, our Drink Responsibly campaign, our book drive, our merch store. I want to thank all of you for all the birthday wishes and tuning in to Sports Pack today. We'll be right back here, same bat time, same bat channel, Thursday at 6, only on Wolf Sports Network. Have a blessed night.
That shirt's blue.